Okay, guys. So thank you very much for joining this comprehensive interview in the industrial automation live workshop. Okay, as you already know, my name is Saumil Patel, and I am providing the trainings in the industrial automation to the working professional students and freshers. Right now, in this topic, we are going to discuss about the interview topics that generally the candidate might face whenever they are planning to switch from one organization to the another organization. That means if you are planning to switch your job in the industrial automation, or if you are planning to get into the industrial automation, so what kind of the preparation you need to do as far as the interview is concerned. So that kind of the topics we are going to discuss in this topic in this live workshop. Okay, now let me discuss about the orientation of this topic. Okay, first 40 minutes we are going to discuss about the interview topics. Then the next 40 minutes we are going to discuss about the questions and answers, and I am personally showcasing the my packages whatever I am providing to you. Okay, it can be a paid packages or it can be a free packages. Okay, now let me share my screen and quickly we'll start the webinar. Just acknowledge me from your side, guys. The screen is visible to you, desktop is visible to you or not properly. Yeah. Okay. So hope the screen is visible to you, and let me create the document so you cannot miss out each and every topic of this webinar. Interview in industrial automation. So this is our topic. Now let's see, for example, if you are a fresher or student, okay, or let's see if you are working already in the industrial automation and you have the experience of 1 year to 10 years of experience, whatever it is, right? I am clubbing all the members, so and I am putting all the efforts in this topic, so anyone can attend this type of topics when they are going to the interview, or if there is a chance. There is no chance to miss out these topics. Okay, so that's why I am putting down my maximum efforts to this training programs, right? So let me write down the topics. First of all, what should be asked by the interviewer to the candidate? Generally, for each and every case, you need to prepare communication protocols. Now you might ask me what kind of protocols are available in the industrial automation and how I can prepare this communication protocol, because I know that interviewer are generally putting these questions in front of you and tell you that please explain what type of communication protocols you have used into your project. So how you can answer it generally? So first of all, you need to know the type of the communication protocols are used in the industrial automation. But the majorly you need to know about the Profibus, Profinet, Ethernet. I can say that it's a TCP/IP. Let me write down the Ethernet. Modbus is really important, and PC UA. If you know at least this type of communication protocol, then definitely you will crack that particular question, right? How? For example, if interviewer asks you, please explain me the communication protocol you have used in your current project. For example, you have used in your current project like Profibus communication protocols. For example, you have one PLC and you have connected the other devices, other remote interface modules via Profibus cable. So you need to explain how you need to connect it, right? That you need to explain it. Generally, the interviewer are finding the guts from your side, how you are explaining to the interviewer. Okay, the knowledge is the secondary part, but how you are explaining, so this is the confidence, how your confidence you are showcasing in front of interviewer, that is the really important. So the communication protocol, if you know at least 2 or 3 communication protocols into your project that you have already used, that is enough. What I strongly recommend, you need to know about the Profibus, you need to know about the Modbus, you need to know about the OPC UA. Profibus is nothing but the standard protocol from the Siemens, right? On the Profibus protocol, generally the interviewer might ask the questions like, let me write down the question over here, okay? For example, the first question like this way, what type of communication protocols you explained, right? Now, the consecutive question will be like this way. Tell me maximum device can be connected over Fibers. What should be the answer? The answer you need to find out. Okay, I will not give you the answer, right? So, what should be the maximum number of devices that you can connect over the Profibus? That you need to prepare, right? So, if one topic is start in the interview, for example, communication protocol, so that interviewer might ask the subsequent questions also. So you need to prepare topic by topic in the interview. First of all, communication protocol. The interviewer might ask the third question like this way. Can you tell me how the Modbus communication work? That question might ask by the interviewer. And in my 10 years of career, I have faced so many interviews from the big companies, from the interviewers. Okay. So definitely these questions are common for each and every interviews, right? So you need to prepare the communication protocol in a deep manner. I will strongly recommend you need to focus on these 5 communication protocols. If you explain it in a deep manner, then definitely you will crack the interview. Then another subsequent question, what kind of functions in Modbus? That is the common question regarding the Modbus, right? The fifth question can be like this way. Tell me about settings of Modbus communication. This is the fifth question. So when communication topic is started, automatically the subsequent questions will be asked by the interviewer to you. And you need to explain each and every questions very confidently. So this type of questions, if you prepare, definitely you will crack the interview within a half an hour or within a 1 hour. Okay. So interviewer will get the confidence from your side, and interviewer will understand that I think this engineer is good enough for me, the current position, and I think I need to hire him or hire her. Okay. So like this way, you need to prepare yourself regarding the communication protocol topic. Is there any question from your side, guys, regarding the communication protocol? And this is the basic one. Profibus, Profibus is generally asked by the interviewer. Modbus is generally asked by the interviewer. You need to prepare OPC UA, Ethernet, and Profinet. That is the beneficial part. Okay, that is the beneficial part if you know all these protocols. Is there any questions? You can chat with me inside the chat box. The chat box is open right now. If you are not writing, so I will definitely go to the next topic. Okay. Krishna, Samuel, Abdul, Guru Prakash, Arvind, Devendra, Santappa, I think Rakesh and Amit Kesri. Is there any questions? Yeah. What is the difference between Ethernet and Profibus? Sorry, Profinet and Ethernet. Yes, this is the good question actually. Right. See, Profinet and Ethernet, I think it's the same protocol, but the Siemens has developed its own protocol and they have given its name like Profinet. That is still it's a TCP/IP based protocol, right? And Ethernet is also TCP/IP based protocol. So both the deep manner means both the protocol has the deep manner is the TCP/IP. Okay, but why the Siemens has developed the Profinet protocol? Because they have developed the redundancy over that protocol, right? They have developed the media redundancy over that protocol. So they have given the name like Profinet. Okay, understood? Definitely, this is the common question from the interviewer. Let me write down over here. Now, let's go to the another topic. For example, if you are experienced of 1 year or 2 year, right? And you are preparing for the interview, then interviewer definitely asks to you to explain only one project. So when interviewer asks you, please explain any one of the project you develop, then you need to prepare by yourself how to explain that project, right? Generally peoples are explaining, yes, I have done this programming over here, I have done this sequence logic over here, I have developed the HMI screens over here, I have developed the I have started the motor over here. No, this is not the way to explain, right? Let me write down the topic over here. Explain your one project. So what you need to explain actually over here, exactly what you need to explain. You need to explain the system architecture. That means what kind of CPU you have used, what kind of model number of the HMI you have used, what kind of communication method you have used, what kind of what I can say that what kind of SCADA you have used. Have you used SQL over here? Have you used remote interface modules over here? Have you used GSD file? That means the third party communication over here, right? For example, the third party Wolfgang, या फिर third party weight indicator, या फिर third party devices that you have connected to your PLC over here, right? So the system architecture means the model numbers of the devices and how their that devices are communicated with each other, how their devices are interacting with each other, that you need to explain. So when you start your project, you need to explain first of all system architecture. Am I right? I think Arvind asked the question, in the Modbus we used a table to watch the data to which register it may falling and to edit what that table is called. That table is called just a watch table, right? So interviewer will not focus how you are watching the data. Okay, interviewer will focus how you create the Modbus communication between the two devices, right? After creating the communication link, definitely you can watch the data even in the PLC or even in that watch table, right? Guru Prakash says the FDS is the important one to explain in the project. I think we should call it like control philosophy. So after explaining the system architecture, you need to jump for the control philosophy. Still here, please note that here you need not to explain any logical part, right? That will showcase that you are a well experienced person. If you are directly jump to the logical part, that will might affect like this way. You are a very raw engineer and you are directly focusing on the logic, not other things. But the things is very important. right? System architecture, control philosophy. After getting the system architecture, after understanding the system architecture, or after understanding the control philosophy, you started the development. You are not starting directly PLC development when one project comes to you. Okay. First of all, you need to understand the system architecture, then control philosophy, and then logic part. Am I right or wrong? This is the way you need to explain to the interviewer, and that's how you crack the interview, guys. Is there any question up to now? You can write down the your comments and questions over the chat box. The chat box is open in front of you and over my screen, right? So I can watch, I can see your comments and questions. No problem. You can directly write down the questions over there, right? I will attempt each and every one questions, right? Yeah. So the Guru Prakash says, can you explain about the control philosophy? See, the control philosophy means the process, right? For example, there is a chocolate making process or there is a tablet making process, right? So you need to explain them. This is the process, right? Like the powder is coming, then we need to heat the powder, then it will, then moisture will be removed, right? So this kind of process you need to explain you in front of the interviewer. Sujit says, can you explain these 3 points? System architecture means which kind of devices, which kind of communication protocol, which kind of model numbers you are using inside your project, right? So this you need to prepare and you need to explain in front of interviewer. Control philosophy means the steps of process that you need to explain. For example, you are giving the explanation of one kind of process like tablet making machine. Okay, so you need to explain the step by step, right? First the tablet is raw tablet is coming, then we need to coat it, then we need to fill inside one of the bottle, then we need to cap of that bottle, right? So that you need to explain by step. Then you need to jump to the logic part. Logic part means how you have developed the logic to fulfill that steps, right? For example, when bottle is coming, right? So to count that bottle, there is one sensor. Okay, so that sensor is counting how much bottle is going on. So that logic I have developed, right? For example, to put the cap over that bottle, okay, I have developed the logic with the motion controllers, right? So you need to explain like this way. I have developed the logic with the motion controllers, and there is a settings over there. I have done that, right? So this is the way you need to explain logical part after system architecture, after control philosophy. Okay. uh Prakash says, how do we choose the hardware? See, hardware chosen means hardware selection part is the design team, right? Is the definitely depends on the design team. But if you want to explore yourself as a hardware selection, then definitely you can choose as per the digital input output numbers and analog input output numbers. So how many numbers of the digital inputs and digital outputs, analog inputs and analog outputs are available into one project, depend on that you are choosing your hardware. Means which kind of, means how much memory is available, how much memory should available for that controller, right? How many tags should be created for design point of view in the SCADA or in the HMI. So the depends on that numbers, depends on that count, you are going to select your hardware. This is also one of the good question, hardware selection. Then after hardware selection, logic part means software. Okay. Then After these 4 points, you need to explain what is the critical things you have in this project. Understood? This is the best way. This is the best way to impress the interviewer. All right. For example, you are explaining in a general manner. Okay. So you are not differentiating yourself from the others. So that's why you need to put by yourself. This is the critical thing I have developed in this project. If there is no critical things, you need to develop that critical things. Okay. Right. So that's how you need to impress your interviewer. Yes. For example, if you have written down the program, sorry for that. Yeah. For example, if you have written down the program to generate the report, and report generation is critical task. So you need to explain like this way: at the end of the project, I have done one important task and that is really critical, but I have done that. And how you have done that you need to explain. Yeah, Sujit says, if you don't mind, can you explain the third point about the Modbus communication? Yeah, see, definitely. The interviewer tell you, if interviewer asks you, please explain the Modbus communication working. Okay, so how you can explain you, right? You can explain like this way. In one of my project, I have two devices and I need to develop the Modbus communication between these two devices, right? And what are the settings on that devices that you have done? What are the baud rate? What are the stop bits? What are the, for example, if there is a Modbus TCP IP, so what are the unit ID? What are the device ID? What is the baud rate, parity, and stop bit you have set to make the communication link for that Modbus? You need to explain. For example, there is a Modbus TCP IP. So what should be the communication protocol number? What should be the TCP IP port? What should be the Ethernet IP address? And what should be the device ID number? That you need to explain. And what is the block you have called you have called inside the PLC programming, that you need to explain them, right? So if the interviewer asks how the Modbus communication works, so you need not to explain like this way to just communicate, to just data transfer between one device to another device. This is not the way to explain, right? You need to explain in a detailed manner so that interviewer assumes that yes, you have a deep knowledge. Amit says, can Siemens PCS7 S7400 be called as a DCS system? How it is different from the Immersion, Honeywell, and Yokogawa DCS? See, each and every company has its own DCS, correct? Right? That means, yeah. Thank you, Sujit. Thank you, Guru Prakash. I have limited battery in my laptop, so let me connect it. Thank you for remembering it. Yeah. Okay. So the the Amit Kesri says the PCS7 is different from the other device, other platform like Immersion, Honeywell, and Yokogawa. Yes, definitely it's a different platform, right? But the platform is DCS. See, the different DCS softwares are available because of the different companies are providing the different DCS platforms, right? So Siemens has the PCS7 software, Yokogawa has its own software, Immersion has its own software, Honeywell has its own software, but the platform is DCS. They have different controllers as a DCS. Siemens has the S7400 controller as a DCS. For example, Immersion has the Delta V controller as a DCS. Honeywell has its own controller as a DCS. Understood? Siemens has the PCS7 Neo itself. Yeah, definitely. It's a new launched DCS. Definitely. Guru Prakash. Okay. So this is the major topics interviewer asked you. Okay. And if you need to crack the interview, definitely you need to prepare this kind of topics. Right. And please mention what should be the critical things you have developed in your project that you need to explain by yourself. Okay, intentionally. There is a intentional thing you need to explain you to the interviewer. Is there any questions up to now? We'll move ahead. Reservation and programming lines. I am not getting what is the point actually, Guru Prakash. What is the reservation and what is the programming lines? Exactly, yes. Reservation and programming lines. This is not the correct sentence actually. They are asking for the CPU memory consumption. Definitely. Definitely CPU memory consumption is asked by the interviewer. But for that, you need to prepare like this way. What kind of CPU, what kind of memories are available inside the CPU? For example, code memory, you can say that it's a work memory. And another name is another memory is nothing but the data memory or load memory. So you need to prepare these two kind of memories, right? How many programming steps you used? No, this is not a good question actually from the interviewer, right? This is not the question interviewer asked. See, because interviewer don't know what kind of projects you have done, right? So how they can ask you how many programming steps you used? Yes, if you explain it properly and the interviewer assumes that you have done this kind of project, then and then they will ask which kind of steps you need to perform to do this task. This is the way from the interviewer. How many programming steps you used? How many programming steps means if you are doing the program of very big sequence, okay, so it might be 500 steps. If you are doing the programming of only one or two digital outputs, so it might be a 3 or 4 steps. Okay, so before that you need to explain you, I have done this application and in this application I have used this kind of programming steps. Are you getting what I'm saying? If interviewer asks, please explain me how many programming steps you used, so you need to explain like this way. This is the application and to make this application I have used this. Yeah. Now, one another important thing, languages. Am I right or wrong? If you don't know what kind of languages are used inside the industrial automation, then there is a very much big mistake, right? Generally, interviewer asks, you might have heard about the STL language, structural language. You have structured text, right? You might have heard about the SCL, ladder diagram, CFC, SFC, FBD. Okay. So you need to explain, yes, sir, I know the knowledge of the STL, SCL, ladder, CFC, SFC, and FBD, but generally I used to do the programming in a ladder diagram. So this is the way you need to explain. Gulam Rasul says, interviewer asked the explain mandatory function blocks used in the Siemens software TIA portal or step 7. Mandatory function blocks means, can you explain? Means by which means you are putting this question? Mandatory function blocks means this is not like this way. Interviewer might ask you like this way, what kind of blocks are available inside the Siemens TIA portal or step 7? Right? So you can explain it like this way. It can be a OB, organization block. it can be a FC function, it can be a FB function block, it can be a DB data block. Like this way, this is the important blocks inside the Siemens TIA portal and step 7, right? I am using in my current projects. So this is the way you need to put the extra effort, right? Whenever interviewer asks the question, after explaining your answer, okay, you need to put the extra effort like this way. Yes, I am still using this kind of things in my current projects. So this is the way you are putting the extra effort to the interviewer, and interviewer might impress to you. Okay. Languages, you need to choose any two languages, I think. For example, ladder is the best one, I think, if you know, right? If you know the structural language, it's a really very much beneficial. If you know the CFC, that means chart language. From the sixth language, if you know at least three languages, then it's really good effort from your side, right? But you need to put like this way. Sir, I have worked on the STL, SCL, ladder, FBD, CFC, and SFC in the different projects, but generally or majorly, I am using the ladder diagram because it's a day-to-day life, it's a day-to-day programming method, which all the peoples are using, which all the programmers are using. So I am very much comfortable for the ladder. But yes, I know the chart programming. Chart programming means CFC. Okay. I know the structural languages. Structural languages means structure text means STL. I know the SCL. I know the function block diagram because I used to do in one of my project. This is the way you need to explain. Let's create a 10th question. Before that, let me take a questions from the Gulam Rasul. They have commented there. So, and we will close the this session and we'll reconnect again because I think 3 minutes is remaining in 40 minutes. So we'll reconnect again and we'll start the session again. Okay. Right. So let me take questions over here. There will be some function blocks understand the cycle time. Cycle time. Yes, definitely. For example, there is an interrupt, right? For example, there is a cyclic interrupt, right? You need to explain it. Yes, this function block is available, right? If I want to do the some particular task in an interval base or in a one particular time, right? So there is a time-based interrupt, right? You can say that. Or there is a, for example, the another different blocks, as I told you, there is the organization block, OB, right? So there is there is not only one block, OB1. There are another different blocks are available in the Siemens that you can use to minimize like programming errors, like rack error, like you can say that uh, it's a startup OB. Startup means whenever your PLC is started, at that time that OB is running, after that it will not run. So there is a OB 100, right? So it's a startup OB. There are different OBs are available, programming error OB. Right? These are the organization blocks you need to explain in front of the interviewer. Okay, but if you explain any one of two, okay, that's enough, right? That means interviewer will assume that yes, you know the things, right? You know the things. Organization block, if you know only two organization blocks, for example, OB1 is the cyclic OB, OB100 is the restart OB, right? Means startup OB, and OB35 is the uh, time-based interrupt OB. For it's a cyclic interrupt OB, right? So, for example, OB35 is a cyclic interrupt OB, and you have set the 10 millisecond to execute the OB35. So, for whenever there is a cycle is running, scan time is running of the PLC, each and every 10 millisecond that OB35 is called and run, then again your cyclic will be started, right? So this is the way you need to explain, but only 2 or 3 OB, if you explain, then that is enough. I think Gulam Rasul, I have explained your questions, right? Just give me the acknowledgement in the chat box. Amit Kesri says, I want to excel at SQL. Definitely, can you please suggest a good Udemy course for the same? Amit Kesri, actually, I will not recommend to go for the Udemy because Udemy is providing the generalized SQL course. Okay, but if you are in the industrial automation, you can take it my SQL course and get it your whatever is the customized requirement from the my side. Okay, because I am providing the customized training to you. As far as the SQL or PLC, HMS, SCADA, and DCS is concerned, there is a no only one standard method. As per the requirement, I am providing the trainings, right? So what we'll do,